Hey you guys, welcome back to High Priestess Transmissions. This is going to be one of those episodes where I'm not sugarcoating anything, no fluff, no spiritual bypassing, no pretending that everything is easy and love and light when it's not. Because if you're walking into a real spiritual path, especially one that involves power, lineage, and spirit, you're going to see some things, you're going to learn some things, and eventually you're going to have to decide who you are inside of it. So today I'm sharing 5 things that palo mayombe has taught me as a high priestess, because I have now been a yaya for 5 years and I've learned a lot. And whether you practice palo or not, these lessons go way beyond one tradition. They're about power, discernment, integrity, love for the path, and self-respect. Number 1, be mindful of the men, the tatas, running the munanzo, the palo house. I'm going to say this plainly. Not every man in power is a man of integrity. And I'm very lucky because the munanzo, the palo house that I'm in now, is very big on women's empowerment. And my godparents make sure to teach us that the yaya is so much more important than someone just holding a candle. But not all insouls are like that. And just because someone is a tata, just because they have an inganga, a pot, just because they've been scratched, does not mean that they're evolved. Watch how the tatas and the male ingegos treat women. Not just in ritual space, but outside of it. How do they talk about women when they're not around? How do they handle conflict with women? Do they respect boundaries? Or do they try to dominate and control? Because the truth is, a man who disrespects women in his everyday life will eventually bring that same energy into spiritual space. Trust and believe, and that is dangerous. You are not meant to submit your power to someone who has not mastered their own shadow and misuses this path. Spiritual authority without emotional maturity is a liability and dangerous. I don't care how strong his spirits are or how many animals he's unalived. If his character is weak, it will show every single time. So if you're like me and you're a woman that believes that we are just as powerful as men and doesn't put up with oppression, make sure that you join a palo house that reflects those values. And let me be very clear, there are certain things that because of tradition and laws of nature, the masculine and the feminine, that yayas traditionally are not allowed to do. But there are only a handful of things. Okay? The other stuff, we're allowed. Even if we're not allowed to do it, there's still some information that we're allowed to know so that we can keep the tata in line and in check. In case he forgets something, in case he skips a step, we can gracefully bring things back in order. Okay. Number 2, if you're with a spiritual man and he works you spiritually, leave immediately. This one is not up for debate. If you're with a man and he is doing spiritual work on you without your consent or trying to manipulate you energetically, leave. In my beginning days, in my early days, I used to get flattered a little bit, like, oh, he went to his insasi about me. Now, I get fucking pissed off. Because that's betrayal to me. I don't care how in love you think you are, because hear me clearly. If he will work you when you're together, meaning he's doing trampoline magic, obsessions, amaris, love bindings, obsession spells, domination spells, all that, he will absolutely work you when you break up. He will try to keep tabs on you, he will try to bind you, and he will try to control outcomes in his favor and have power over you. That is not a powerful man. That is a low-caliber man who uses spirituality as a weapon because he lacks real control in his own life. And there are plenty of tatas like this. Don't fall for it. A man rooted in true power does not need to dominate a woman's will. He aligns, he builds with integrity, and he protects. Anything else is a manipulation dressed up as magic. And you need to get out before it escalates. Now, if you two consent to do something, some type of love binding together, and you're married by law, then that's different. But if he's working you without your consent, or even if he says, oh, I'm going to do something to tie us together, and he doesn't, and you don't like how it feels, speak up for yourself. Okay? Number 3, if y'all can't tell, I'm getting pretty passionate. Because number 2, I know for a fact, I lived that life. And never the fuck again. Number 3, your enemies don't fucking matter like that. I'm gonna be honest. One of the most embarrassing things I've seen is people going to war for years over nonsense. Internet beef, breakups, ego battles, petty drama, dragging it out for 5, 7, 10 years. For what? If either one of you was truly effective and you're both throwing on each other, it wouldn't have lasted that long. Okay? Somebody would have gotten got by now. But Spirit is trying to show y'all, put the swords down and walk away. But let's just be real. Power is precise. Power is intentional. You go to war when it counts. Not because your ego's bruised. Not because somebody says something online. You don't waste your energy or your Nganga's energy proving a point to people who don't matter. Because every time you do, you're linking your own power. Discipline is knowing when to engage and when to let something die on its own. Not everything deserves your fire, and honestly, most of it doesn't. I'm not going back and forth with anybody. I don't care who's talking smack. I don't care who tries to throw work at me because they don't like me. I don't care. Because I don't answer to them, and I don't bend to their will. Someone attacks me, I remove it, and I move on. I simply do not care. I don't have shit to prove to a human being. I don't have to prove to anyone how powerful I am. Because I don't answer to humans. Number 4. The lessons that you learn, you will be expected to embody them. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up. Because it's easy to talk about spirituality and perform rituals, light candles, and say you're doing the work. But can you live it? Can you embody it when you're triggered? Can you remind yourself that you're a yaya? Because let me tell you something. Especially if you get in palo, especially as a woman, those first few years, you're going to have people trying you. Maybe a few with witchcraft, but a lot of them haven't picked up a candle a day in their life to do a spell. But you're going to have situations where people are trying you and disrespecting you, and you're going to have to go to palo to handle it. And then there's also going to be times when it's not worth your energy. But Spirit doesn't just care about what you do in the Nganga room, it cares about who you are outside of it. Your integrity, your discipline, your emotional control. And if you're learning about protection but you're still entertaining chaos in your life, you're not embodying the lesson. If you're learning about power but you're still giving your energy away to people who don't deserve it, you're not embodying the lesson. This path will hold you accountable. And the higher you go, the less you can get away with. And that's just the truth. But if you walk it with integrity and say, hey, I'm not, in Pungos, in Zambia, Mibakulo, I'm not perfect. But I do my damn best every single day. They will help you. Number 5. Wisdom, inner work, and soul evolution cannot be taken from you. And this is the part that grounds everything, because at the end of the day, people can try to block you, they can talk about you, they can even work against you. But what you've become cannot be undone. Your wisdom, your discernment, your growth, that is yours. And no spirit, no person, no enemy can take that away from you. And this is why inner work matters so much. Because it's the only thing that actually stays with you no matter what's happening externally. And your evolution and your growth, the evolution of your soul, is all that you carry with you lifetime after lifetime. That's it. That's all you got. And I made a firm decision a while ago that when that day comes for me to transition, and I gotta stand in front of Nsambia and the Impungos in front of God and the divine, I'm gonna be able to say I gave it my best. I did the best I could with what I had at the time. Your evolution is your real protection. Your integrity is your protection. Your alignment is your real power. Everything else is secondary. Because people will try to strip you of everything. And some of them are so nasty that they want your essence. They want you down to your soul. But you don't have to submit to that. They didn't make you, so they can't break you. Unless you let them. And I'm telling you, all you gotta give this path is integrity and truth and a little bit of your heart. And you will be so divinely supported. It might not always be easy, but these impulsos will have your back. I promise you. So yeah, those are 5 things that palo mayombe has taught me in the last 5 years as a high priestess. Not the aesthetic version, not the romanticized version, the real version. And if you take anything from this episode, let it be this. Your power is not just in what you practice, it's who you choose to be and who you become. And if you're ready to deepen your own spiritual practice, especially in a way that's grounded, embodied, and actually transforms you, I do have courses available. You can check those out at sirensnectar.com/courses. I'll link everything in the description box. And quick disclaimer, my courses are based on Romani, Greek folk magic, and my personal spiritual path, not palo. Okay? But they will teach you how to build real power, real discernment, and real spiritual discipline. Okay? I love y'all. Thank you. I'll see you in the next episode.